Good evening, everyone. We will be starting the session soon. Thank you. A warm good evening to respected one and all present here. I, Mrs. Darshana Hajorika, Vice President, on the behalf of NSS Zarbra chapter, would like to welcome everyone to our very first webinar on the theme Fostering the Need of Impactful Publication in Nursing Research. So as we all know, the publication is the heart of the research. So we as a researcher, we have to struggle a lot to publish our research paper in highly indexed journal. So the objectives of this today's webinar is to imparting the knowledge in publication in nursing research. So before proceed to the formal session, I would like to highlight about the NSS. So this NSS chapter, it was established in 2020 of Mrs. Krishna Chaudhary. So now I would like to welcome Mrs. Krishna Chaudhary, President, NSS Zarbra chapter, to kindly address welcome speech. Over to you, Krishna Madam.
Thank you, Darshana. Am I audible? Am I audible, Darshana?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you so much. A very good evening to one and all present here in this virtual platform today. It's our privilege to host the very first activity of NSS Jarbera chapter of Assam on the theme fostering the need of impactful publication in nursing research. So, with the evolving trend in nursing research, sorry, here is an essential role of the nurse researchers to disseminate the findings and evidences, and also to share the current innovations and initiatives with the professionals belonging to nursing and also with other disciplines. But merely publishing an original research paper or a review article is not everything that we need. But publishing in high impact journals will perhaps give the researchers and increase in visibility of their research work and the opportunity of getting cited. So keeping this view in mind, we, the executive team members of Jarbera chapter of Assam of Nursing Scholar Society, decided to host a virtual webinar on this vital area of nursing research. So with this, I, on behalf of the team of Jarbera chapter, would like to take the opportunity to welcome our chief guest and also the honorable patron of Nursing Scholar Society, Dr. Shivesh Khanna Madam. I also welcome the National President and Guest of Honor of today's webinar, Dr. Vinu Jo Sir. Our most esteemed speakers, Dr. Jyoti Katkar Ma'am, College of Nursing, Chandigarh. Welcome Praveen Sir, Associate Professor, School of Nursing Science and Research, Sharda University, for providing your valuable consent to be among us today in spite of your extremely busy schedule. I also want to welcome the team of NSS Jarbera chapter and also all the participants joining the webinar today from various regions. I believe all the participants will be extremely benefited by the end of this webinar. So I welcome you all. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Darshana.
Thank you, ma'am, for your beautiful speech. Today, I am very glad to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Shivesh Khanna, patron NSS. And due to some inconveniency, she is not present here today, and she has sent a beautiful audiovisual message for all of us. So let's hear it.
Namaskar, greetings from New York, USA. Thank you for your kind words of introduction, my respected dignitaries and all these organizing team and chapter president, Krishna ji, and the speakers, including our lovely audience. As we all know that nursing research publications are usually published by research journals, which are also referred journals, and example I will give you is of Lippincott, Williams and Wilkins Limited. You may have many like Nandini and others and Kumar's publications, many other Indian publications. But we are talking in general and what I know from Western countries. These journals look at ranking, citation, indexing, ISSN, review time, acceptance rate of nursing research, and impact factor. Now, what is impact factor? The impact factor, IF, is a measure of the frequency with which the average article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. It is used to measure the importance or rank of a journal by calculating the times its articles are cited. This IMF was devised by Eugene Garfield, the founder of the Institute for Scientific Information, ISI, in Philadelphia, USA, and started calculations in 1975. ISI was acquired by Thomson Scientific and Healthcare in 1992. and became known as Thomas ISI. SJR is SI Memme Geo Journal rank. The nursing SJR is 0552. Now we don't know these 05.552 or 553, but when you send for publications, those people will let you know, the PR people, the human resources from there, and that what does it mean and where does your article stand. Since 2018, Thomson Reuters spun off and sold ISI to Onyx, a different company, and founded Private Equity Asia called Cleary Wait, and is now called Journal Citation Report, JCR, which gets released yearly and provides information about academic journals, including IF. Example, the impact of mentioned earlier. Nursing Research Journal does not qualify for top 20 journals. There are biology journal, economic journal, business journal, things like that, and medical journal, and our Nursing Research Journal does not stand that qualitatively. Some tips for publication in nursing research. First and foremost is quality of selection of your nursing research problem. Presenting a solution, designing the paper, make your manuscript worth publishing. Write an effective results section, very important. It shows how you are disseminating the outcomes, the results of your research problem. Mind your references. Quality, which will determine nursing quartile. Now, what is nursing quartile? They have put the articles in 4 categories. Q1 is the like a cream, top, very like a selective, perfect, polished nursing articles or nursing research. And Q2 has 25 to 50 above average type of nursing research articles. Q3 category is 50 to 75, and they are like average articles. Then Q4 is below average, and it occupies from 75 to 100% group. They will categorize and let you know where your article from quality point and from all other components stands for publication. You will be hearing from our experts, nursing leaders, who will address in detail about basics in publication in highly indexed journal and ethics in research publication. Wishes to our founding National President, Dr. Binu Jo sir, Garbhera Chapter President, Krishna Chaudhary ji, and her talented team who has organized today's webinar. Then the speakers, Dr. Jyoti Kathwal ji, and she is also Saffron Chapter President of Chandigarh Union Territory, and Dr. Upu Praveenji from Sharda University. Have a wonderful packed webinar full of pearls of wisdom and knowledge. God's blessings to you all, and have
Thank you, ma'am, though you are not present here today. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Binu Joe, today's guest of honor, to kindly speak. I welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yes, a very warm good evening to one and all. It's really very great pleasure to see you all in spite of Sunday, your weekend. You all have come in such a large numbers to be eager to hear from our expert speakers. First of all, I'm very thankful to Krishna ma'am, our president of our chapters. It's a really great that she has taken the need of our to have a webinar on this topic so that it benefits the maximum number of students. I will not talk much about the details of the topic. We have got expert speakers, Upu Praveen sir, Dr. Upi Praveen sir, one of the best in the area. He has a great vast knowledge about the research and its publications. And yes, of course, Dr. Jyoti ma'am, she has a great era of knowledge. It's a very blessings to have such a vast speakers, legends on the nursing profession who will be sharing your thoughts. I'm just want to convey the message that yes, research is the only foundation where we can stand. When we do something in a very truthfulness, honesty, then it is the best essence. If you do everything is correct, 100%, we are going in a right direction. So anything which follows 100% ethics, that is the best thing. So whenever you in a research, there is no shortcuts. As I feel that simple things in a basic life, if you gain more pain, if you suffer more pain, 100% indirectly you are getting experience. So where there is no pain, there is no gain. So in a research, you should not think of any shortcuts. There is no shortcuts to the success. So if you have a plan or a desire to good research publications, you have to be in a very great ethics with a great professionalism that we are for betterment of our society and our own profession.
हो तो गया चालू ऐसा.
Yes, okay. So good wishes to one.
Second वाले का आया था. First.
Okay, good wishes to one and all. I will not take much of the time. It's a blessings to that. I am seeing that we have under the leadership of Krishna ma'am who's taken this initiative, and the whole team members. I'm very much thankful to the whole team members who have taken this good topic and decided to do a webinar. I'm great thankful to all of you, and good wishes to all the speakers. We are very lucky to have you all to speak on this topics. Good wishes to both of you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you one and all. Namaste.
Thank you, sir, for this beautiful speech. Today, we are very fortunate to have among which Dr. Jyoti Kathwal Madam, Principal, GMCH College of Nursing, and Dr. Upru Praveen Sir, Associate Professor, HOD, Department of Community Health Nursing, Sarda School of Nursing Science and Research, Sarda University, Greater Noida. We welcome you, sir, madam. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Jyoti Kathwal Madam, Principal, GMCH College of Nursing. Madam has completed her graduation from AIIMS, New Delhi. Madam has completed her post-graduation from the Department of CTVS from SNDT, Mumbai. Also completed certificate course in palliative care. She has completed diploma in naturopathy and yoga. Madam has in MMB in 2023. Madam is a trainer for simulation-based education, COVID-19, mental health, and Omicron. Madam has achieved Commendation Award, Best Services in COVID-19 time during 2021. She is an active researcher and Best Paper Award on 2015. Madam has developed SOP for Cilium Hospital, Indonesia. Madam has achieved first prize in ECG interpretation, and also he have achieved first prize in own care. She got second prize in research paper presentation in international conference on November 2021. Achievement: Madam has achieved appreciation certificate in Medical Relief Foundation camp, appreciation certificate patients and involved in e-learning programs and organizing national and international CNAs. Madam has authored 3 books, 3 information booklet, contributed to 11 chapters in different books. Also, the madam has total 23 years of professional experience. Now, without further delay, I would like to invite madam to take her session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for such a detailed introduction of mine, and so kind of you. Before I start, I would like to thank and congratulate the chapter who took an initiative on such a burning topic these days, because everybody wants to be a good researcher and people are in a rat race to get their paper published. So the topic which has been given to me, that is basics on publication in highly indexed journal, is definitely going to be a helpful one for you, I hope. Now, without wasting much time, let's dig into the topic. When we talk about the research, in research, it is a creative and a systematic work which is undertaken to increase the available knowledge. So I would want all of you to just share your opinion by raising the hand, whether it is useful to share your research finding or not. Just raise your hand or just send me a message in the chat box, that will also do. Is it useful? Is it really necessary to share your findings of whatever research project you have conducted or thesis you have made? Is it required or is it not required?
Yes, ma'am, required.
Thank you so much for your responses. I can see a few hands raised, and in chat box also I can see it is being mentioned that it is definitely necessary to disseminate. But why do we need it and how do we do so? We can do it with the help of publishing our paper in some good impact journal or a renowned journal, I would say. When I'm talking about the renowned journal, what is the necessity or why is it important to do so? Because it provides a communication channel for all the researchers to talk about a particular topic. If you remember the COVID time, everybody was sharing their researches, something new they have used, some new drug they have tried. So their findings they would share. So this is how we are able to communicate among the researchers. And it is also a source for review, to know what is already been done and also to know the gaps. Let's say I have tried one drug, but you found out that there is a side effect of that drug. So there is a gap. So that kind of assessment we can do through the research publication. And it also provides source for innovative ideas. Let's say I am reading about from one of the research article and I get an enlightenment that this can be in another way. So that is a research insight. Then it also prevents the replication of work. I have done something, you also might be thinking of same thing, but I have already done it. So to prevent that replication or duplication of work, the publication is helpful. And also it provides information about the latest trends, whatever is happening new in the subject or in the profession, that is known to everyone. That is, dissemination is done through publications. Moving ahead, whenever we are completing the research, the principal investigator, that means the person who has done that research, should share the findings to all the professional publishing house. By doing so, or for that, what we need to do is we have to write a manuscript, or in easier language, if you have to use another word, it would be article I have to prepare, which I should share it with the journals. Now, what is the process of publishing a paper? There are few steps that we will look into. First is that you have to complete your research first and look for a target journal. When you look for a target journal, there are few things that we will discuss each step in detail. Now let's take a quick list down of these. And then you have to prepare a manuscript based on the guidelines of that particular journal, and you submit the paper. After submitting, this is the duty of journal that they would do the review of it. And after review, you will get the decision of that reviewers. And reviewers might give you revision, reviewers might give you approval. So based on the quality of your research paper. And then either you have to revise if it is mentioned, otherwise it is submitted after submission, revising, and then it is accepted and published. Now let's see each one of it in detail. The very first thing that we have to do is we have to look for a journal first. Now, before that, I would like to share one picture where you can see it is not a very easy task. As Dr. Binu was also saying, getting your paper published is a huge task. And many of you must have done it. You get revision, you get rejections, even the very first time when you send your paper, which you have worked a lot and you have spent a lot of energy and time, immediately you get the rejection. There are few reasons. It is not that your paper is not up to mark or your paper is not good. It is different things are required for it. Now, before we start submitting, we need to look for a journal in which I want to publish my paper. Now, how do I decide? There are different criteria for it. First criteria is the journal based on your area. Let's say I have done my research in ECG interpretation. So my journal will have to be based on in such a way where ECG is being addressed or the nursing education has been improved. I will not go into like mechanical engineering. I will not go into forensic nursing. I will not choose such research journals. I would be only looking for the journals which are related to my area of research. And also you should always look at the aims and scope. Aims and scope will help you to enlighten yourself, whether it is suitable for my research or no. By reading this, you will be able to understand whether your article will be accepted or not. So this will be very much helpful. This is what I personally also do. And a tip I would like to give you here is that whenever you get for the publication, look for the titles and look for the titles which have been submitted earlier also. If they are relevant or nearby to your area of research, then you should choose that journal. Apart from that, what you should look for when you're choosing a journal, you should look for the audience, who is going to read it. And whether your paper is specialized or a technically sound or not. Your paper also need to be a good quality. If I'm saying that ECG interpretation will improve by some intervention, then my intervention should be of such a way that it should be suitable to the one who is reading. And visibility of journal, as Dr. Sukhanna was also saying, that visibility of journals is also important. This is what we decide whether it is highly indexed or high impact factor journal or not. Now you must be wondering what is the impact factor or index, because visibility of journal is always based on these two things, indexing and impact factor. Now let's talk about the indexing of the journal. In indexing of the journal, what is indexing? The way we put our index in any of the assignment, any of the library, same way journals are also being categorized. Categorized on what? Based on their discipline, subject and publishing time. Whether it is a quarterly journal, yearly journal, so that way it can be categorized, or it is a nursing journal, it is a medical journal, engineering journal, so that way. And also even in nursing, we have the different subjects like nursing education, the nursing research or nursing practice. That also can be one way of categorizing it. Then existence of journal. Then the journal's reliability depends on this indexing. Now, if I say my article is published in one of the Scopus Index journal, that means you have done a good job. Now, let's say if it is not an index journal, then what would happen? Before that, there are different indexing standards. Now, as I mentioned, Scopus is there, PubMed is there, Web of Science is there, even our UGC grant indexing is also there. So we have different standards for how do we get my journal index in it. For that, you have to have a ISSN number. So it is a serial number which is internationally accredited. Then you have to give each article a DOI. DOI is digitally, you can identify your article. I don't have to put my name as a Jyoti Katwal. You have to just put that number and you will find your article automatically. So as in Jyoti Katwal might be many in world. With that DOI, if you put, you will specifically get that article. And also a defined publication schedule, whether it will be yearly, quarterly, that all. And copyright policy. So these are the 4 requirements. If any journal fulfills, then you definitely say that it is a good index journal. Now, different databases, as I mentioned, can be Scoopers, Web of Science, DOAG, EBSCO, PubMed, Medline. So these are very good ones. If you have any publication in any of these database journals, then you have done a very good job. We were talking about an impact factor. So I was referring to the impact factor. Impact factor, what does it mean? It means that how frequently people are using the articles which are being published in that journal. This is the very simplest way I can say. Otherwise, it is a measure how frequency with which the articles are being cited. Let's say I have published my journal in Trained Nursing Journal of India, TNA journal, and my article has been referred by different people, and they have used that article and used the citation in their personal work. So that is known as citation. And average yearly, how frequently people are using that journal and referring to the different articles in that particular journal is known as impact factor. But this impact factor is not a yearly period. It is 2 yearly, which is being calculated. So this is what we say impact factor. Now there is another score which is there, side score. I would say it is same as impact factor. But there is a slight difference. The difference between these two is side score is for the Scoopers data, whereas impact factor is for the Web of Science data. So this is how you will say. You cannot say my side score is this and impact factor is this for this journal. No, it will be different based on the data database, whether it is from Scoopers or Web of Science. If you are referring to impact factor, it is from Web of Science. If you are referring to side score, it is automatically from Scoopers. And I was referring to the difference. In side score, it is 3-year window, and in impact, it is 2-year window. That's the only difference. Otherwise, it is the average how frequently people are referring to different articles published in that particular journal. Apart from this, there are different other quantitative measures also, like H index, which is very frequently being asked these days in different interviews. H index is that how frequently as an individual my research work has been utilized, and automatically it is being calculated by different databases. It is not a gold standard. It is one reference citation average. If you go to ResearchGate, you will find H index. If you go to Google Scholars, you will find different index. So it is not a gold standard. It is just gives you the ranking, how frequently people are referring to your research work. Based on this H index impact factor, people are using the influence of their personal work, and journals are being ranked based on this. So if you have a good impact factor, that means the journal is very good. If the individual has a good H index, that means the individual is a good researcher. Now this is one screenshot I have taken. This is the journal indexing in the Scoopers. If you look at this picture, I can put a subject area here. I can put a title here. If you drag down this arrow, you can even go for authors also. Now, my personal reason for showing you this picture is, you can see here it is a site score written here. Reason, because it is a Scopus database. And here you can see it is from 2019 to 2022. Citations are being mentioned. If you look at the A Cancer Journal for Clinicians, the site score is 642.9. Higher the citation, higher the score goes. It is not about out of 10 or out of 50. Right? And if you look at the New England Journal, it is based on the percentage. Okay, the highest percentile, how frequently people are writing, that is in the percentile. But site score is 134.4. Then in this, if you drag on the right one, other things are also there, which you can, I think personally can go and read from. Let's see at the Web of Science. In Web of Science, when you put nursing in the search, you can easily find different journals. In these journals, what you can do is you can identify their ISSN number. You can identify their publishers also. So all details individually you can look upon. This is the PubMed directory where I have used mesh indexing and nursing I have searched for. So you can see different journals which are there. Now there are different predatory journals. Excuse me, please. Yeah, I was referring to the predatory journals. In predatory journals, what does it mean? People are just paying and they are just getting their articles being published, which is ethically not right. And these journals are also sometimes very deceiving. Deceiving in the sense you have one name and 3 type of journals you can easily find out. And these journals mimic scientific journals. As I'm saying it, the TNA journal will have similar, like predatory journal will have similar websites, everything similar. And the young researchers get deceived by it. And they get tricked by it. They trick the researchers into publishing. And they make false promises. False promises like we will discuss in later part of our presentation. So predatory journals, as a researcher, they should be very careful. Now, what damage can occur if you publish in the predatory journals? The work that you have put so much of effort, you have put so much of time in it. आपने एक बहुत अच्छा research किया, उसमें time डाला, मेहनत डाला. That research will not be counted because you have done it in a predatory journal. It is kind of a blacklisting journal. Okay, and the waste of research funds, if you have taken, that would also happen. And you will not be able to republish it in any other journal, which is totally not allowed and unethical as well. And researchers does not get their rightful exposure. You might have done very beautiful research, but that gets wasted. People will not know about your good work. So in that case, it will be totally useless. So these are the damages which can occur because of the predatory journals. Now, how do I get to know that this journal is a predatory journal? Very easy to find out. Because people, those who are money-minded, people are who are commercial, will only do predatory work. So in that case, you will find a lot of spelling mistakes and grammatical errors on their website. And they will definitely promise you rapid publication. You will easily get an email. We are interested in your research work. Even they would find out the research area that you're working on, and they would mention it. And they will say that we are very much keen to publish your paper, and you easily get received. And there is no clear policy for article publication charges. That will never be shown in their website. And public, as I mentioned, will not be disclosed. And journals will have list of editors which are there on their website, but they are all fictitious. They are not real. And you would, if you call them, and the numbers which are being displayed will never be picked up. They will be missing or partial information about the contact information. And impact factor also will be false claims. IJSER, I think that is one journal which says on their website, they clearly mention it is Scopus index, it is PubMed index. But when you go into the list of that index journals, you will never find their name. So as a researcher, you have to be very careful about such things. And scope of interest will be very wide. I would give an example that Journal of Mechanical Engineering is publishing nursing articles. So when I can get my work published in that. But what would happen? When I'm writing in my CV or in my achievements, the person who is taking note of that, my achievements, would definitely understand that how come a mechanical engineering journal can publish nursing article. These are two different unrelated subjects. So that way, we identify a predatory journal. Then names will be similar as internationally known journals. I would show you details about it in few minutes. The way I would tell you, International Journal of Health Sciences. Right now, we have 4 journals working in the same name. One is only definitely a authentic one, but other 3 are predatory. And recent articles, if you see into that, you will find them to be very poor research quality. You will definitely have previous articles, previous issues in it, but those will not be very good quality. If you find good quality also, they will be very varied subjects. Somewhere it will be engineering, somewhere it will be sociology, it might be nursing, so different kind of areas would be covered. And it may not have ISSN number. If it has, it would be fictitious or a faulty one. And there is no clear policy for review process also. And it does not appear trustworthy database. As I mentioned, if you go into any of these JCR, WS, Scopus database, you will not find that name of that journal. So these are the different bonding signs, I would say, for assessing predatory journals. Now, how to save yourself from these predatory journals? The very first thing that you do is look for the previous issues. If you have multiple previous issues, then you will go and look for the articles. As I mentioned earlier also, if you have varied areas of research which are being covered, it is not a good journal. As I have written here also, too wide or too vast or irrelevant areas being covered. And the publisher of the journal is offering backdate issue publication. See, this, how am I telling you all this? Because I have been through all these process. This is how I know. The very first thing they would say, we will publish it in the Scopus index, but we will give you a backdate. It will be 22 or 21, 2021 date of publication. It means they have either hacked the website of that journal, or they have some other way of giving you that. So it is not a trustworthy way of getting your research being published. And another very red alert is short time. And they will also charge you a high amount of money. Now let's talk about the similar name and different websites that also you will find. If you look at this, I'm showing you Scopus based database, where I'm showing you International Journal of Health Sciences. But I would like to pay attention that site score is not available, high percentile, nothing is available, details if you look at. But then when I click on this International Journal of Health Sciences to look at the details of that journal, then I can see the publisher name. I can see ISSN number as well. So this is the data where I can see whether it is presently Scopus based indexed or no. So you can see Scopus coverage areas 2014 to 17. And here you can see site score in 18 was 2.5, which is way, way low. And this gives me the authenticity that it is a Scopus index journal. Though the quality might not be a good one, or it is not a very high impact score, but still I say that it is being indexed. Now look at this picture. It has the same name, International Journal of Health Sciences. I will go to the previous slide. Look at the ISSN number 4299, right? And if you look at the ISSN number here, it is different. Electronic version different, print version different. And look here, it says American Research Institute. And when I click on the contact, this is what it appears. It is not giving me the contact details of the publisher. It is asking details of mine. Now, why do they need my details? They should give their own details. Now, these predatory journals have secondary agenda also. They collect your details and they sell it to the other companies. Now, once you fill details of yours, personal details, if you put in this, then this will be saved. And this will be shared to one of the companies, and you will get the calls from call centers or any of the sales centers. So be careful when you share your personal details. Now look at this one. This is also International Journal of Health Sciences. Previous one was also International Journal of Health Sciences. ISSN number here it is 5079. Here it is 6978. And here you can see ISSN number, open access, and all these details are given. But when I am looking at the dashboard, there is nothing where I can see contact us. And when you look at the right side, they are giving H index, I index, citation details. These are all fictional. These are all fictitious. But when I look at the PubMed, I have another International Journal of Health Sciences, which is from the Qasim University. And when I digged into it, I could not reach to the website of this journal. So though it is, what I'm trying to make a point here is the same name of the journal, variety of websites, even index in very good databases. So when you're choosing a journal, you need to be very, very careful. There are different things that you can look on as we have already discussed. I'm sharing the PPT, so I'm not going into this part of this picture. You can look into it each detail and make it a point that to differentiate between a right one and a predatory journal. Now, why people get lured into predatory journal? The very first thing is lack of experience. Second is, first thing that they do is you will receive an email. As I said, they will send you a personal email where they will exaggerate your designation, where they will exaggerate your achievements. And you will feel that somebody is recognizing or somebody is appreciating my work. It is just a trick. And they would also promise within 24 hours or within 72 hours, your article would be published because it is a quality work. And then they will also say DOI is provided. If you remember, I said it is digitally, you can find out this identifier. So that is also provided. But if you go into the DOI database and put that DOI, you will find it is not working. And now the recent trick people have started is they provide you a publication certificate. See, my published article itself is my certificate. I can show that this is where I published. I have the hard copy. I have the online DOI. So there is no such requirement to get a certificate for publication because anybody can do it. Right now, if I'm saying we will receive a certificate, I'm not demeaning anyone, but I'm saying right now also when I'm doing a particular workshop, I'm giving certificates. So someone who's publishing a predatory journal is giving a certificate. And they would also give you even a link for your online edition. And when you go into details, you will go back to the same predatory journal, which is a fake or invalid. So you have to be very careful because you are wasting your good research work. So this is what we do in identifying the different journals. Now we come to the second point, that how do I prepare the article? For preparing article, you have to go into the details of that journal. Journals provide different guidelines. When you go to the website of that particular journal, you will see the submit your manuscript here. And when you click on it, you will find the author guidelines, or you will have separate tab also where it will mention author's instructions or guidelines for publication. So that you need to refer. And first thing, that the subject matter matches your focus on what area the journal is working. And does the journal accept the article that you have prepared? Whether your work is suitable to that journal, that also you should look into it. As we have talked about it, so why I'm referring is we talk different things in between, that's why. So whether your journal is relevant or the article is relevant to the target population, is the edition available online also, impact factor is good or no, it is prestigious one or no, how frequently it is published, any charges are there. Regarding charges also, I will tell you the length and structure, whether you have followed the guidelines or no. Citations are as per guideline. The most commonest problem that reasons for rejection is the journal's aims are not assessed. I am writing A, but journal is focusing on B. So the immediately rejection will come. And then citations are not appropriate. I am a journal where, let's say, a journal is following Vancouver style, and you write APA style. Automatically rejection or revision would come. Secondly, the length and structure also need to be followed as per the guidelines of the journal. Now, while preparing the article, you always review the previous published articles. That will give you a format or a layout, how to write your personal work in same format. Many articles even give you, journals or give you the template also. Now let's say, let's see the example, the length of the article, how many pages or words are being mentioned, number of tables, usually 4 or 5 maximum are allowed, number of word limitation, especially for the abstract, 300 words and general, I'm saying, it can be varying from different journal to different journal. Keywords are also required, minimum 5. Sections are being divided like introduction, review of literature. They just directly go to methodology and results. As I mentioned, citation style also need to be same. Earlier, when we started working, we used to email the article to the journals or send them by post also. But now things have changed. Now we are more digital working. So electronic submissions have started. Now, before we go into the different details, let's see what all things are required in your research paper or the article. The very first thing is the title. And you should clearly mention the details of the research work. Nowadays, we are not following the standard format that you should show the setting also, you should show the design also in the title. No, it has to be crisp and very concise, because the details will come in the detailed part of it when you go for the electronic submission. Okay, so if I will give you an example. Quasi-experimental study to assess the effect of intervention on interpretation of ECG among nursing students in XYZ hospital. So it covered all the requirement of an ideal research title. But journals are not accepting this. What journals are expecting from you is, it is just efficacy of intervention on interpretation of ECG among nursing students. That's it. So concise and crisp title need to be there so that everybody, whosoever reads it, should feel to read it further. So it should be that way. Then you have to write about the author affiliation as well. Author affiliation, there are, I think it requires another session to talk about it, because nowadays ghost authorship and gifted authorships are very much in. And coming to the third part, that is abstract. Abstract is 200 to 300 words. It is just a brief summary. Because if I am having an interest in your research article, I would just first read about the abstract. And if I find it is good enough, then definitely I will read the whole article. And keywords, why we need keywords? Keywords help us to, it's just type of a hashtag. Nowadays we use hashtag in the social media. It is similar like that. So people are able to identify or reach to your article through those keywords. Then we start with the full body of your research article, that is introduction. So at least 2-3 paragraphs, you can go for what is the overview of your research. Then we directly go to the material analysis. Now, review of literature is not much as it is covered in the introduction. In methodology, all the details you would share what you have done in your research. Then is the results. Results, whole raw data is not shared. Only the tables are shown and what is the interpretation. And remember, when you're writing it, whatever you're writing in the table, do not repeat in your explanation. Because the person who's reading will read the table. When he's reading the table, he need to understand the interpretation of it. So you just write the interpretation underneath. Don't say, let's say, frequency is this, chi-square score is this, and the interpretation is this. No. Because you have written that part in the table, so you just write the interpretation. And lastly, discussion. Discussion is an essential part. Why? Because it helps you to find out these strengths, weaknesses, and the recommendations also. So discussion is also a very important aspect, which was in my earlier days, people were not bothering. But now it is very much taken care that if you have written a good discussion, that means you have done a good work. Coming to the conclusion, it is more related to the summary, and it is more related to what you have done and what is the outcome of what your goal of that research was. And in that you also provide recommendation, something which I found that it was to be done this way, or this is what I have missed. All those things will be given in recommendation and conclusions. Lastly, acknowledgements are also given, and with acknowledgements, we also write the conflict of interest. Conflict of interest means I have done some work, you also might have done some work, but there is no, I would say, contradictions between two things. I am saying that ECG can be interpreted in a manner, and you say no, it can be done in a 2 manner. So if these are two different things, there is no conflict of interest. But similar thing, then there is a conflict of interest. And lastly, references. References, as I mentioned, it can be anyways the way journal requires. Now we move on to the third aspect or the process, that is article submission. So we have identified the journal, we have written our manuscript also. Now we need to submit. Submit can be done with the help of online platform. It can be sent via email also, depending on the requirement of the journal. Now initial screening will be done by the editorial board. What they do is they just overview. Now for this I would give an example. Students might come to you for their tool validation. What you do is just an overview you take. This is what is done in initial screening. Whether it is suitable for the journal or not. Then it is sent to the reviewers to assess whether person has followed the guidelines, person has given a good quality work or no. And plagiarism is also assessed. And in this, the review and other part, author does not have any role in it. It is a confidential. It is only that I have submitted, I have given you my assignment to check. And in submission, it can be done, as I said, electronic submission. This is the link I have shared. In this, you can go. How does it work? It will directly ask you the registration. And in this registration, you have to put your details like email ID and other aspects, how you are going to use that electronic submission data. And when you open the electronic submission, it will ask for the abstract and all those steps, what we manually do it is done electronically. But another important thing that you need to keep it ready is cover letter and copyright form. These are the two things recently has been added, like since 5 years. Cover letter, what is it? It has to be an appealing one. Appealing means when I'm reading as an editor, when I'm reading the letter, it should appeal that the work I'm sharing is different. Why this article should be published and whom it is addressing, whether it is nurses, nursing research, whosoever. And how it is different from the routine articles and how it is going to improve the available knowledge among the readers. So all these details should be written in the cover letter. And electronic submission will also require your author and co-author and their roles. Roles in the sense, whether they did data collection, whether they did review literature, all those details are being asked. And as an author, I personally say that you should create an ORCID ID that helps internationally to recognize you as a researcher. And a few electronic journals or electronic submission database requires reviewers as well. Why they do so? Because as a researcher, you know the best who can review it. And it also increases their reviewer panel. Then peer review is done. As I said, initial screening, then people will send it to the peer review, those who are reviewers. So what they would do is they will check whether it is quality work or no, and then they go further. And the fifth one is the understand and accept the decision. The reviewers will give you their decision. Decision, like there are different ways of giving their decision. They would give acceptance with revisions, like which is there rare. If there are major revisions, they would not ask for revision, they will reject it. Acceptance with minor revisions. Minor revisions means they can just say revising your table or adding more discussion part. So that kind of revisions are given, or changing the citation method or citation details. They would, these are called minor changes. And revising, once you get the revision, you need to revise it. And then if it is rejected, then you have to look another journal. Now, when you have got the revision, what would you do? You will go for the revision and understand what they have suggested and look for the quality improvement. The revisions are given to improve the quality of paper. Many a times we take it as a negative comment and we get disheartened. No, the reviewer has a responsibility to improve the quality of that paper and also to maintain the quality of the journal. So that is the reason they are giving the revision. And in case of rejection, don't get disheartened because it might not be in alignment of the journal's scope or journal's objectives. It might be for different line. So if it is on a different strata or different line, then you should look for another journal. Rejection is stated with a reason always. You will receive an email or on the electronic submission database, you will get a notification that it has been rejected. Plus, why it has been rejected, it will be clearly mentioned. So that can be looked upon and that you can prevent it next time. This is just a picture of sometime what you would receive as an author. So I would skip this part, you can take a look later. Now, if it is accepted, it's a great news and it's a hurrah moment that your publication or a paper has been accepted. So what you would do is it will be followed by a publication charges because many journals do not charge. Many journals do, but there is a loophole in it. The internationally acclaimed journals like British Journal of Nursing, it has an option. If you have to publish your paper, you have to pay some amount. And they also ask you if you want to keep it as an open access journal article. If you click for the open access article, it means that anybody can access that article. Anybody can read it, download it, all that anybody can do it. If you have done the research literature review, many a times you would find in Elsevier or any other database, and they will ask you, you have to buy that particular article. So why? Because it is not an open access. So I think these are major things that we have covered, that we have come up to the acceptance. So this is how you can get your paper published in highly impact journal. The only thing is you stick to the quality and you stick to the guidelines of that publication journal. There is another very common thing which I have been hearing since ages, or rather since my initial period of professional work: perish or publish. The reason it started, my teachers used to say, if you're not publishing, because in those times people were not very much fond of publishing their research article. people, my teachers used to say, if you do not publish, how people would get to know that you have done something new? How would they get benefited out of it? Your findings will perish, will go wasted. So that was the reason people started publishing. But now in today's era, what has happened? It is other way around. If you do not publish, as a researcher, you will perish. So now what are we having this scenario presently? You will clearly say, I have these many number of articles published. So that tagging has started. And because the H index score has come up, research scores have come up, number of citations have created such a scenario that everyone wants their research to be, or paper research article to be published. Whether it is a good quality or no, that is a secondary matter. But everybody wants to say that I have 300 or 500 or thousands of research article published. So this is the main reason that predatory journals are flourishing. Predatory journals are utilizing this opportunity and create a havoc and unnecessary competition among the researchers. So as a researcher, as a good researcher, you need to be very careful which type of journal you're using, and always follow the ethics of nursing, research and publishing. About the ethics, definitely the next speaker would be talking about in detail. The only thing I would talk about here is about publish and perish, that you'd never use your false data, never go for falsifying the plagiarism. Incorrect citations is also against the rules, and submission of your personal manuscript on 2-3 journals at one go. That is also not ethically right. And concealing the financial support that you have taken, that is also inappropriate. And failure to disclose the authors. Let's say we have done a group work and you only write the name whom your guide has told, not all. So that is also ethically not right. And also giving incorrect co-authorship. Guide says, मेरे junior को भी इसमें author बना दो, and you do so. Though you have no other option, but still it is ethically incorrect. So my request to every one of you is that definitely you should go for publication, follow the guidelines, follow the quality, and follow the ethics. And you will be definitely way better researcher. And this is what I rest my presentation. In case of any other further details or any discussion, we are open for it. And you can take down my email or details. If you have any personal interest, you can contact. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and congratulations to the Gerbera chapter. And this is quite a good initiative that you have taken. Congratulations on it. Thank you so much. Over to you, Darshana.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with your vast knowledge. You have covered all the topic regarding the publication, like how to publish the research paper and how we can identify the predatory journals and the consequence of the predatory journals in a very short period. Thank you once again, ma'am. Now, moving forward to the next session, I would like to introduce our today's second speaker, Sir Dr. Uppu Praveen, Associate Professor cum HOD, Department of Community Health Nursing, Sarda University. Now, I would like to introduce Sir. Sir has completed his BSc Nursing from NRA College of Nursing, Andhra Pradesh, India, completed his MSc Nursing in the Department of Community Health Nursing from Manipal College of Nursing, Manipal University, Udupi. Sir has completed full-time PhD in nursing from Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research for Chennai. Additional professional qualification, Sir has completed postgraduate diploma in epidemiology and biostatistics, Institute of Good Manufacturing Practice, India, New Delhi. Sir has also completed postgraduate diploma in medical ethics and bioethics Center for Ethics, Unopoya University, Mangalore, India. Other qualifications, Sir has completed UGC NET, that is in Social Medicine and Community Health in National Testing Agency, Ministry of Education, Government of India, Noida, India. Sir has completed MBA, that is Human Resource Management, Directorate of Distance Education, Tamil Nadu, India. Sir has more than 10 years of experience as a tutor, as a research fellow, assistant professor, and associate professor in the field of nursing education and research. Sir has completed certificate course on epidemiology, research methodology, and biostatistics at Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Karnataka, India. Sir has undergone 6 weeks training course on pain and palliative nursing from MNZ Institute of Oncology and Regional Center, Hyderabad. NPTEL online certificate on qualitative research methods and research writing. Sir has completed course on introducing to systematic review and meta-analysis from Johns Hopkins University. Sir has underwent for training on good clinical practice at Center for Ethics, Yeneopa University, Mangalore, Karnataka. Sir has completed course on Research Ethics Committee held from 1st April to 30 April 2022 at St. John's Research Institute, Bangalore, India. Sir has attended various national and international workshops and conferences as a resource person. Regarding Sir's publications, Sir has published many more papers in an index journal like Scopus and Web of Science. Now, without further delay, I would like to invite Sir to kindly take your time. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You are audible, sir.
Thank you, Darshana, for the introduction, but it looks very long and okay, fine. Thank you. And first of all, very thankful to the NSS members and special thanks to the president and the Assam chapter for the opportunity given to have an introduction, to have an interaction with you and share my knowledge on ethical aspects in research and publication. I'm sharing my screen. Just let me know, is it visible or is it visible? Darshana, is it visible?
No, sir, it is not visible, sir.
Okay. Now?
Yes, sir. Sound now it is visible, sir.
Now it is. Yeah. Okay. So my topic was common ethical issues in research and publication. First of all, I would like to know from the participants, what are the ethical issues which you come across when you do the research and when you publish any paper? You can post your responses in the chat box. What are the common issues which you come across in publishing research? And chart your responses. Anything which you come across when you publish. Anything, any responses? Anyone? Darshana, anyone has sent Any responses?
Sir,
Yes. Anything? No responses?
so no responses.
Which means they know all ethical issues, or else these people, they may didn't come across the ethical issues. Okay, fine. Coming to the session, today in this session, we will discuss about what are the common ethical issues in research publication and some of the solutions to overcome these issues. As we know, research is a process of exploring facts, enabling scientific innovation, and upgrading knowledge and practices. Actually, we are doing for this purpose only. Basically, as a student fraternity or as a researcher, we do two kinds of research. One is academic research and one is industrial research. So most of the our nursing fraternity, we go for the academic research only. So through the research, what we will try to do is we will try to do the exploring the facts or enabling scientific innovations and upgrade our knowledge and practices. See, after completion of all this, it is very important to disseminate the result among the stakeholders. What is the most common way to disseminate the results? What is the most common way to disseminate the results? Most common way to disseminate the research result. How we can disseminate the result, research result?
Sir, by publication.
By publication. Okay, very good. By publication, yes. Yeah, publication. Yes, as you said, publication is one of the common and effective and time-tested approaches to widely disseminate the research findings across the globe. So through the publication, we can disseminate our results. Yes, very good. So therefore, it is very essential for the researcher to provide accurate scientific information adhering to the ethical principles and practices. So whenever we do research and we go for publication, it is very important for the researcher to adhere or stick to the certain ethical principles and practices. See, one open question for all of you. What is the indicator to determine the quality of a research? What is the indicator to determine the quality of the research? You can text or you can talk anything. What is the quality indicator or quality of a research depends on? Quality of a research or publication is depends on. Anyone? No? Yeah, I got some chat. I cannot see this chart. Can some Darshana, can you please read the responses?
Sir, according to them, it is a standard knowledge required and it
Okay.
should be genuine.
And knowledge, then
It should be genuine.
genuine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other responses?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet.
Someone mentioned plagiarism and fabrication.
Some plagiarism. Okay, very good. Any other? Okay, fine. So according to me, maybe it may not be based on any textbook, or according to me, a quality of a research depends on researcher, the researcher integrity. So researcher integrity decides the quality. Yes, earlier session also, as madam said, there are certain factors which decide the quality of the any paper. But according to me, the primary indicator is the researcher integrity. Somebody told genuineness something. Yes, yes. The technical term or stylish term is nothing but the integrity. Very good. Yeah. In publication processes, as I told, ethical dilemmas or issues arise at any level. Either it may be at the editorial level, or with the research community, or within the research team. Anywhere, the ethical issues or dilemmas may arise. And failure to adhere these ethical morals in publication may result in affecting the reputation of the researcher and their research work. So when you are failed to adhere to the ethical issues, obviously it has an impact on the researcher as well as research work. So some of the common issues coming to the ethical issues, yes, authorship. Damn sure around 80% of the research publication, when you do any research publication, somehow some kind of conflict arises at authorship level. Is it right? How many of you say yes for this? You can text. One of the ethical dilemma or issue which arises in the aspect of authorship. How many of you, if you are yes with me, just text in the chat box. Anyone texted? No, which means nobody agree. Yeah, somebody chatted. Rashna, can you tell what are the responses? Oh, still responses I am getting. Yeah. People are saying yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
People are saying yes. 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 Me too. Myself also personally, I also experienced this kind of dilemma coming to the authorship. So basically, authorship is nothing but a work in an academic publication or scientific publication is claimed, claimed by individuals who contributed intellectually to the accomplishment of the study on a project. Basically, who contributed, who has involved as an
देखो
author.
वो एक कंप्यूटर बॉक्स है, ये क्या है तेरा अबेकस, ये देखो, हाँ ये एक अबेकस, देखो अबेकस.
Yes. There are mainly, when it comes to the authorship, there are mainly two kinds of ethical issues in authorship. One is like a gift or guest or honorary authorship, and second one is the ghost authorship. Any guesses what is gift authorship? Any guesses what is gift or guest authorship? You can chart or you can say also verbal. Any idea what is gift? Some kind of gift giving gift.
So actually, it is a kind of authorship where anyone is gifted the authorship, but that author is actually not involving the study.
Okay, not involved in the study. Yeah, I think somebody texted in the chat box. Can you read what it is? I think I can log in through mobile also. I can see that.
सर it may be possible ये किसी और ने किया हो और किसी और को उन्होंने गिफ्ट कर दिया हो कि हाँ ठीक है आपका नाम से हम इसे पब्लिश कर देते हैं.
अच्छा. Very good, sir. Dr. Meeta, I guess Dr. Meeta. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yes.
Sir, according to Pallavi Bora, when the author does not contribute anything.
Okay, does not contribute anything, but they got the authorship, right? Yes. For example, this kind of authorship, especially we will experience. I'm not criticizing anyone. Sorry. Like for example, everybody experienced most of the situation. Everybody experienced like maybe HODs or principals or some superiors. By default, somebody says yes. By default, yes, they are heads. We have to give authorship like that. So they may not do anything, but By default, it will go as a default. We have to give an authorship. It's like, they didn't do anything for the research, but default, we have to give the authorship. This is nothing but the gift or guest authorship. What is ghost authorship? What is ghost authorship? Any guesses? Any guesses? Anything? Anyone? Somebody texted, yes. What it is?
So those are done the study, but their name is not involved.
Okay. Yeah, completely eliminated. Actual contribution made by the person, but when it comes to the publication, no, the particular person, he or name will not appear in the authors list. It's like, removing the particular person or the researcher name in the publication, even though they contributed a lot. It's kind of ghost authorship, ghost booth. So we cannot see, like people say, the ghost cannot appear. We cannot see the ghost spirits like that. The candidate who contributed, but their name will not appear in the authors list in the publication. Yes, these are the very most common types of ethical issues when it comes to the authorship. According to ICMJ, International Committee of Medical Journal and Editors, according to their norms, when it comes to very standard journals, like as per the earlier session, like the standard journals, what they will ask is contribution. There is certain format according to the ICMJE. In what areas? For example, the concept generation, conceptualization, or interpretation, analysis, designing, collection of data. So they have given certain guidelines. They will clearly ask what is the contribution from the each author involved in the particular study. So these kind of particular standard journals, they always prefer, or they always ask the researcher or the corresponding author, what are the contributions made by the team members. So everybody must adhere to these norms, so that at least we will try to minimize the ethical concerns in the research publication. Yes, plagiarism, even at the starting of the session, somebody told, yes, plagiarism. Yes, everybody knows plagiarism. It's not a new term. It is nothing but when you present somebody works a concept as your own, with or without their permission, by incorporating it into your work without giving them full credit. So it's like, big definition, but simply we are looting somebody, or we are taking somebody work and projecting it as our own work, and even not even acknowledging them, or even not giving any kind of credit to the particular person. So this is a very, very common concern, and a very, very common, most common ethical issue. And nowadays we have certain softwares where we can detect the these kind of similarity indexes, like softwares like Turnitin, Irkut, etc. So with this, where we can able to identify the similarity indexes. So a good researcher must go for the proper plagiarism check, and even the publishers also, they will ask strict about this plagiarism. Some standard people will accept less than 10% similar index only. So like that, by keeping all these kind of standards, we can try to minimize these ethical issues. And one more thing, falsification, fabrication, and plagiarism. These are considered as the cardinal sins. Cardinal sins, people are saying, these are the sins in research conduct. So as plagiarism, we discussed it already. Coming to the falsification and fabrication. Yes. Yeah. Can someone tell me what is fabrication? Fabrication or falsification? knowingly or unknowingly, we may practice these kind of things, but we doesn't know the exact definition or exact meaning. Any guesses? Falsification or fabrication? No. Yeah, somebody texted yes. Yeah, Darshana, can you read? Yeah, 2 responses.
Yes,
3
sir.
responses.
Pallavi Bara, she has responded. Falsification is changing of research result.
Changing of false. Okay, falsification. Very good. So anybody about fabrication?
Sir, according to Raj Lakshmi N, sliced the research into many. That is, and according to Vijay Lakshmi, it is called manipulation.
Okay, manipulation. Okay, but manipulation. Okay, fine. Very good. Yeah, fabrication. Nothing but we will creation or adding of data or findings or character traits that didn't occur during the data gathering or the trial process. What we will do is to increase the weightage of our study or to increase weightage of our study, we will try to incorporate certain things where actually those things didn't happen yet. See, for example, you may did study on assessing the awareness on COVID preventive measures. But what you will do is to have a better weightage, you will try to add one more component like attitude or practices, certain kind of things, certain kind of traits or characteristics where actually those things didn't happen. So it's like a creation, some false data. That is nothing but the fact, what you call creating. In the sense, actually you didn't do anything, but you will try to add some kind of mashallah kind of things to improve your weightage of the particular study. Coming to the falsification, it happens if study results or data are changed or excluded to support hypothesis. Type 1 error. See, maybe what happened, you did one research and unfortunately you didn't get any favorable result. In the sense, there is no association, there is no significant influence. So what you will try to do is to obtain the favorable kind of things, you will try to change the data or you will try to manipulate the result. So this is nothing but the falsification and fabrication. So people do practice all those things. This is not their fault due to publication, peer pressure and targets given by the educational institutions. So people used to commit these kind of ethical issues in the research publication. And very, by seeing this image, can you guess what may be the second next ethical issue? By seeing this picture, can you guess? Anyone? Yes, some message I got. Yes. Darshana?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the response?
Yes, sir. Plagiarism.
This one, by seeing this.
No, sir. Response.
Yeah, response.
According to Pallavi Bara, slicing.
It's like
It's
slicing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Most common term. It's like salami slicing. See, this is also one of the main ethical issue. It is a method of slicing a huge study into smaller published articles that could have been reported in a single research paper. See, basically these things happen at very big studies, especially the PhD level of studies, where we will focus on more than 2-3 variables. But as a research, as a PhD work, we will do everything in one big thesis. But when it comes to the publication, what we will try to do is, we will try to divide the study.
நான் வேணா கேட்டுட்டு சொல்லட்டுங்களா? சரி மேம். அதாவது இந்த இப்போ போன தடவை சரி மேடம். அதாவது நீங்க கேக்குறது வந்து இன்னைக்கு இப்போ வந்திருக்குல்ல வாஜ்பாய் யூனிவர்சிட்டியில அந்த இதுபடி நம்ம அந்த சர்க்குலர் தானே மேடம்? நேற்றுக்கு வந்து சொல்ல வாஜ்பாய் யூனிவர்சிட்டி அந்த சர்க்குலர் தானே? சரி மேடம். சரி.
that delegates kindly mute from your side. Kindly mute.
எடுக்க முடியும்.
Okay, fine. So, like when you do a large study, in the sense large in the sense not a very big, very big size. This is large in the sense incorporating multiple variables, or doing 2-3 methods in like triangulation kind of things, including 2-3 methods in your study. So to increase the number of publications where the researcher will try to publish the papers according to the different variables. This is also the ethical issue, but few will say no, this is not an ethical issue. Like they some kind of arguments. Some people will support for this kind of publication, and some people will oppose this kind of publication. But in the point of ethical aspect, yes, it is unethical to practice this salami slicing. And yes, peer review issues. This is most very tactical kind of issue, where if you come across the certain standard journals, what they will ask is send the manuscript without author's details or without author's information. Why they do? Because they want to maintain the confidentiality of the manuscript. But certain like few journals, what they will ask? They will ask us. They will request us to suggest some reviewers. It's a common human instinct or motto. What we will do is, in such scenario, we'll try to refer the candidates whom we know, very close friends or very close teachers, and all we will try to give. So ultimately what will happen is, sometimes the publisher or the particular journal, what they will do is they will send your manuscript to whom you recommended, or sometimes they may send to other persons also. Imagine you recommended some person or some senior most person whom you know very well. So what will happen? Obviously, you will get that manuscript. The particular person will receive the manuscript. If they are very close, what they will do is they will inform to you. Yes, I received your manuscript. I am about to do the corrections or inputs. So as a human instinct, what we will do? What we will say? No, ma'am or sir, please, sir, try to don't give too much of corrections. Please push it. This kind of things will happen. So for that is the reason at the starting of the session, what I told is the integrity of the researcher will decide the quality of the publication. So if you maintain the confidentiality from the editorial point of view at publisher, so at least we can try to avoid these kind of peer review issues. And next one is editor and reviewer biases also. For example, we may heard frequently these kind of words like, yes, I know the editor. I'm very close to the editor. If I say and if I request, definitely they will accept my paper. Or the reviewers, as I told the reviewers, yes, I know the reviewers. I given the references, those who I know very closely, like that. So these kind of issues also will happen at the editorial as well as reviewer level. I'm not saying that all the journals and publishers will do the same, but these things are happening everywhere. People are not doing anything intentionally. As I told, nowadays everywhere research. People talk about lot about research only. Maybe as I told, the institutions or certain targets for our personal growth, or it may be for the promotional aspects or for the incremental aspects also, we are back of publications. So obviously, what will happen for standard journals and all, they will take minimum 6 to 12 months for giving their acceptance, due to lack of time and due to rush to achieve these kind of targets. So people will commit this kind of issues like ethical aspects. So as a genuine researcher, we will try to avoid these issues so that we can provide, we can disseminate the results in a standard way. So as to avoid all these issues, it is mandatory for the editors and reviewers to maintain the confidentiality in the publication process. So if you maintain the confidentiality, by default, we can avoid this issue, that is like peer review issues. We can avoid this kind of issues. And one more thing, uniform instructions to the others. For example, some journal they ask some kind of give certain guidelines. Some publisher or some journals they will give certain kind of guidelines. So, or not all the journals having same kind of guidelines. So one will ask in APA style, one will ask in Vancouver style, and one journal will ask lots of information, and some journals will ask nothing. So I may not say these are the ethical concerns, but a lack of standards in publication process also is one of the concern to be considered very seriously. And one more thing, standard journals, non-predatory journals and all, they will focus about the ethical approval and informed consent. Definitely, the good journal will ask, can you produce your ethical approval letter? Or can you share the informed consent form which you use? So this is also one of the concern. And while publication also, we can observe lack of reporting all this kind of ethical approval or ethical consent and informed consent. So this is also one of the serious concern when it comes to the research publication. In conclusion, yes, as paper acceptance is not an easy task. We have to cross all the stages. That too, if you want to publish in a good reputed journal. So you have to come across all the steps, all peer review. Even journals will ask so many corrections, frequent additions, deletions will be there. So it's a very, nowadays publishing a standard manuscript in a standard journal has become very challenging task. But I cannot say it is not an impossible task. It's a possible task only. But adherent to all these kind of ethical issues will help the researcher to stand in the society very strong. That yes, can say I am a very genuine researcher, or I am a good researcher. So it is the responsibility of the investigators and the editor to adhere to the ethical components in the publication process, which ultimately helps in avoiding the practices involved in scientific misconduct. So the things which I discussed in all common ethical issues comes under scientific misconduct. And this is also, so far whatever I discussed, it is one of the project which I did during my postgraduate diploma in medical ethics and bioethics. The project work which I choose is what are the common ethical issues which will come across in research and publication. So based on my experience, what the study which I performed, so I just shared with you. Thank you so much. Any doubts? The session is open for the discussion.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your expertise with us. We are expecting many more sessions from you in coming future. So now the session is open for question answer. The participant can ask their queries in the chat box.
I think I will stop sharing this.
Is any queries? If no queries, then I would like to proceed to the next session. For this, I would like to invite Ms. Ramandeep Kaur, Treasurer, NSS Zarbarak chapter, to kindly address the vote of thanks. Over to you, Ramandeep.
Thank you, Darshana. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
So a very pleasant good evening to one and all present here. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose vote of thanks on this special occasion. First of all, I, on behalf of the organizing committee, would like to convey my deep regard to Khanna ma'am, Joe sir, and Krishna ma'am for constant support and guidance. My sincere thanks to our eminent speaker, Dr. Uppu Praveen sir and Dr. Jyoti Katwal ma'am for gracing us with your valuable time and for such a knowledgeable session. I would like to thank all the honorable delegates who gave their valuable time. Also, at last, I would like to thank all the members of NSS Gerbera Assam chapter for their tireless work to make this event a successful one. Thank you all once again.
Thank you,
Over to
Raman.
you, Darshana.
Yes, thank you, Ramandeep. So now we have come to the end of today's session. So I would like to thank the respected dignitaries and all the participants for spending the valuable time with us. Thank you once again, everyone. Now I would like to wind up the session with a national anthem. I request all the participants to kindly fill up the feedback form for the e-certificate. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everyone.